Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 4 of Court Talk Soul Walk. I'm your host, JuJu, and today is January 13th, 2026. 13 days in the new year. Could you believe it? Just so blessed to be here, so thank God for that. So just to roll right into it, I don't know if you guys have been scrolling in the news over the weekend, but right now, and the NBA is going fucking crazy. It's going fucking mayhem right now in the NBA. Okay. I just thought personally things is going good, but clearly they're not. Clearly, you got some superstars that are on the move. You got some legends rewriting history books, and locker rooms are getting real heated. This is this mid-season meltdown, and this is where the pretenders get exposed and the contenders get desperate. We're only 23 days away from the trade deadline, and the phones in the office and the NBA office, okay, are going off the hook. So today, we aren't just talking about the points and rebounds. We're talking about the soul behind the jersey. We're looking at why Atlanta did Trae Young so fucking dirty. That was fucking ridiculous. We're also going to talk about why personally I feel like LeBron is holding on to the torch and not passing it on to Luka respectfully. And we're also going to touch on the Warriors and what they got going on. So grab your water, get your mind right, because this is Court Talk Soul Walk. So let's get into it. So Atlanta finally did it. They finally shipped Trae Young to the Washington Wizards for a package of CJ McCollum, which, I love CJ, but I feel like, to bring him to the Hawks right now, that doesn't make any much sense to me. He's a vet in the game and somewhat of a liability and injury prone. But, you know, if that makes Atlanta happy, then so be it. Also, I believe Corey Kispert. And out of everything, they didn't get 0 draft picks. So, to be honest, I just feel like it's wrong to do your star player that way. You just don't dump, your franchise cornerstone in the salary dump like he's an expired contract. It's disrespectful to that man, to Trae Young, who basically, in my opinion, put Atlanta, back on the map since he's been there. And I understand his time with the Hawks was shortened this season because he, missed some significant time due to, I believe it was his right MCL sprain and the contusions and all of that. But what I do know is that he didn't average what he averaged in the previous seasons for the 2024 and 25 season. So this season, Trae Young, he was averaging about 20 points per game, about 9 assists, and just roughly under 2 rebounds. And, the last 10 games that he's been playing for the Atlanta Hawks. And, like I said, in his previous year, homie, he was shitting like he always does, showing the world what Ice-Trae does, averaging about, 24 points and about 12 assists, 12 assists per game. So just like I said, just showing people that why they call him Ice-Trae. I just think this is really sad right now for him to find out the way that he did. It kind of just brought me back to the whole Chris Paul situation. Not exactly the same, but similar. They do have their similarities and differences, but I just think this was just really like a low blow. Really wasn't expecting the league to allow this the way it went down, but can't really say much. Can't really say that because the league allows a lot of things, a lot of things. And what I can sit there and say is, even though I feel like, the Hawks shipping off Trae Young was disrespectful, he did post his farewell. So I wanted to read you one of the farewells that Trae Young had posted on X or Twitter, however you prefer. And it goes, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord." Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. Never thought I'd be typing this. The last few years weren't how I wanted them to be. Expectations that we created for ourselves, reaching heights that Atlanta has never reached before. Bringing a championship to Atlanta was always my goal. However, between the injuries, the setbacks, and the situations that didn't make sense, we never truly got to see our full potential. The city that raised me and taught me so much will always be a chapter in this story. However, the pain of staying the same eventually outweighed the uncertainty of change. Change is often met with fear, but I see it as another opportunity. I'm walking into this next chapter ecstatic, with my head high and my eyes forward. It's time to see what's possible when the support is real and the vision is clear. We move. Trae Young. I just, that whole just farewell just meant like made me feel sad. But I wasn't expecting Trae Young to go out like this because personally, I have noticed for plenty of seasons, as many, seasons he's been there, I feel like they've tried to rebuild around Trae Young. And I feel like the best person that the best trio they had was when they had DeJounte Murray and Capella. And as you can see, they just traded Capella not too long ago. And that was a stupid decision. And at this point in time, it's just, given how Atlanta, the organization is moving, the person that's calling the shots like this, I feel like we have to take a look at, at them, at the people in the office, because it seems to me because they've been rebuilding around Trae Young and they haven't gone where they want them to be. Now it's time to let's get him out of here. And that's where I feel like that's where the disrespect comes in. Because it's not my fault if you don't have the picks that other teams have. Or if some of your players are not it or whatever the case is. You have to do what you have to do at the end of the day to make sure, okay, cool. Well, this Trae Young is not a basketball player that fucks around. I've never seen Trae Young look like a player or come across as a player, as a fan of him, that he doesn't want to play basketball, that he doesn't put his heart out when he plays the sport of basketball. Okay, so I feel like when you're dealing with players, especially superstar players, you don't just throw them out to the Wizards, because we talking about the Wizards. Like every time I think about the Wizards, this is who I think about: Bradley Beal, when he sat out and collected all their fucking money. Okay, and then he went to the fucking Phoenix Suns, and we're not even going. What did he really do there? The only best thing, me personally, right now, within the last couple of seasons, okay, the best thing coming out of the Washington Wizards was Porzingis, when I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Mavericks traded Porzingis to the Washington Wizards because Doncic didn't want to play with him anymore. Okay, and they was not going to let go. Here it is. They were not going to let go of their star player at the time. So they said bye bye Porzingis, and Porzingis balled out on the Wizards, and Porzingis balled out on the Wizards and got picked up by the fucking Celtics and fucking won a chip. You get what I'm saying? Mind you, when Chris Paul was in the talks a season or two ago, they had shipped into the Wizards, and then the Golden State had picked them up. Like, who really wants to sit down on the fucking Wizards? And I'm no disrespect to the organization, but let's be fucking for real. Okay. This is just ridiculous. How he found out was ridiculous. Like I said, the league, I just feel if you don't say that, the NBA is this and this, that, when you have organizations doing this and that to star players. Because I feel like when upcoming future basketball players, look at what's going on in the league right now, they're going to think it's okay to move that type of way. And I feel like the NBA has to be aware about the image that they're putting out for the fans to see. And, just nationally, they have to be aware about what they're putting out there. So my best advice to Trae Young right now is to don't talk, don't tweet, just ball. Just ball, my guy. Ball like you ain't never balled before. Like, show these motherfuckers why they call you Ice-Trae. I feel like, when people devalue you, your only response should be excellence. So I wish Trey Young the best. And regardless what type of team it is, if he is that dude, like I believe like he's that dude, you don't know what the fuck he's going to do on the Wizards. So I wish him and the Wizards, the best for the next, half of the season. Things can always get tricky. Things can always get tricky. So yeah. Moving along, I want to give a shout out to one of the players I really admire, Kevin Durant. He actually passed Wilt Chamberlain on January 9th for the seventh on the all-time scoring list. So big shout out to Kevin Durant, scoring 31,435 points at 37 years old. So I feel like, whew, we ought to give credit when credit is due. Kevin Durant, such an amazing player. I love to see him play. My only issue is I wish he would have stayed on Golden State. I wish he would have came back to Golden State, but it is what it is. But shout out to him. It's good to see history in the making and looking at who the people I call OGs. I think Kevin Durant is one of my OGs. Looking at him and seeing where he's at right now, I'm happy for him. As long as he's happy, I'm happy. So shout out to that. And if I'm not mistaken, he should be in the next couple of games or so, in the next couple of weeks, he should be making history again by passing somebody else. I'll get back to you guys with that name, but that will be that for the moment. Moving along, the Greek freak, my guy Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's my guy for sure. I remember when Giannis was, was fresh in the league. And now looking at Giannis, I'm like, yeah, the Greek freak for real. Man, Milwaukee, 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 Milwaukee. Like, man, I can listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. I feel like the Bucks wouldn't have to be desperately looking to build around Giannis if they only switch a couple pieces. Okay. And right now, in some trade rumor talk, it seems like the Bucks might be going after Michael Porter Jr., who's also averaging a career high right now of 26 points. But if you ask me, they need to do some more fucking searching. I'm really not feeling the Michael Porter Jr. scene with Giannis. I think Giannis needs somebody that's more dominant, somebody that knows their way around the court, somebody who can handle themselves defensively and offensively. And to be honest, when Milwaukee had Brooke Lopez, when they had Grayson Allen, when they had all these players, okay, they had won the chip and they beat Phoenix because they were that team. They were that team. And throughout the seasons, you start to hear talk about is Giannis going to stay there? People are being traded. I think the biggest trade that happened for Milwaukee was trading Drew Holiday, was trading Chris Middleton. That right there was horrific. It was sad because to me, honestly, like when you trade veterans, you have to be cautious of what type of veteran you're trading. Yes, we know a lot of veterans have have a list of injuries or some little, a lot, but some veterans don't bring skill, sport IQ, basketball IQ to the game. Okay. Drew Holiday, I feel like Drew Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis were a trio that could have been. It makes no sense for Drew Holiday to go to be traded to the Celtics and Holman gets a chip. Like, come on now. It makes no sense to ship off Chris Middleton. He wasn't anything. That was ridiculous. And I just feel like they could have done better. They could have done better by him, even though I guess they felt like the other teams could have used him more efficiently. But I think that having Chris Middleton with Giannis definitely showed an age gap, but showed understanding of how to make plays, how to make successful plays to execute them. And I think having Drew Holiday in the mix basically showed right now it seems like they are talking about, basically getting Michael Porter Jr. And Michael Porter Jr., to me, honestly, I really have lost a lot of interest in him. Okay, because I feel like he was on an amazing contending team on the West, on the Denver Nuggets, playing with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And I feel like in the last couple of seasons, he has really kind of been given the Nuggets, their ass to kiss because he has not been playing the way he should have been playing. So I basically felt like them trading him was the best thing to do. I feel like you can't be every season not doing more when we're seeing a player like Aaron Gordon do more and more and more, and a player like Nikola Jokic, that man is like not human. And Jamal Murray, like he's good too, but I feel like this season, he's a little wacky. He is not the Jamal Murray that I've seen, the Jamal Murray that I know that he can be. So if I know he can be at a 10, right now he's definitely giving like me a 7. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know what's going on to why we're not getting the 10, but that's just my personal opinion. So whatever that is, that's on him. But in this whole trade rumor thing, it seems like so it's like the Bucks, the Nets, and the Pistons. That's all wrapped up in this shebang right now, okay? So if everything works out, this is what potentially will happen. So the Bucks will get Michael Porter Jr., right? The Nets will get Kyle Kuzma and Torian Prince alongside with a 2031 first round pick. And the Pistons will get Cole Anthony along with some cash considerations. Okay. So let me break this down to you. First and foremost, Kyle Kuzma came from the Wizards and balled. This is what I'm saying. This is a team, they might not go nowhere, but I really look at the Wizards like as a rehab team. Players go there to do rehab and they come back out because Kyle Kuzma should have never been in that situation anyway. But the reason why he ended up being in that situation from the very beginning, while Kyle Kuzma is in the situation he is in right now, is because LeBron traded him after he helped them get his ring. That's why he is there right now. Okay? That's why he's in right now. Torian Prince, also another good shooter. He's been on a couple good teams, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was on the Lakers. Son was balling, good 3-point shot, along with a 2031 pick. The Pistons, they seem like they doing their thing this season. So shout out to them. They'll get Cole Anthony, and he's on the Bucks right now. And the only reason why they, alongside with the cash considerations, like I said, and the only reason why they are included is because they need to clear a roster spot. So they need to fill a spot right now. So like how you have to have a certain amount of players on your team, they need to have a certain amount of players on their team. Every team needs to have the same amount of players on their team. So he needs to fill a spot. So if the Bucks basically trade him with the cash, that will cover his salary. Because basically right now, the Pistons are in no position, nowhere near the luxury tax. So they can't make no certain calls like that right now. So I think honestly, we could find somebody else besides Michael Porter Jr., in my opinion. Kyle Kuzma, I feel like we shouldn't send him to the Nets. Then mind you, keep this in mind, this is all potentially, like if this goes the way it goes. But in my opinion, Kyle Kuzma needs to go on a better team. He needs to definitely go. He's a really great player. Torian Prince too. I wouldn't trade these guys. And if I did trade these guys, they would be different teams would have to been in the talks for this. Like for sure. Like Kyle Kuzma, my son has a ring. Nah, we're not doing that to him. We're not doing that to him. So, maybe if I could think about it real quick, let my mind think real quick. If I was the Bucks, I would send Kyle Kuzma either to the Heat, one for the East, and I think one for the West. He was already on the Lakers. So I wouldn't him put like the Lakers, the Mavericks. Him or Torian Prince would do good on either of those teams. They'll do good on either of those teams. Even, yeah, they would. They would. Not no Nets. Not the Nets. But yeah. Hopefully within the next couple days, we might hear a little razzle dazzle. But like I said, trade deadline is approaching. Trade deadline is on February 5th. So shit could go either way. Either way. But hopefully everything works out good with that. Next up, oh my goodness, we have the Lakers. The Lakers. And if you know me, Juju, I'm sorry to say it. I am not a Lakers fan. Not a Lakers fan. Not a Lakers fan. I'm sorry. I will never I can't do it. Can't do the purple and gold. Can't do it. But anyways, it seems like they are excuse me. It seems like they are also in the talks right now for some trade proposals, and it seems like them and the Sacramento Kings, the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings, are in talks right now. So basically, if everything works out, this is a potential plan that could go with the Lakers getting Keon Ellis and basically the Kings getting Dalton Connect alongside with a 2032 second round pick. And I feel like Connect, he's a great player that will work out. But I feel like all of this going on right now, we're not really hearing too much about it. But I will sit there and say this since we're talking about the Lakers. They're building around Luca. They are building for their future. They are in a position where they can build for their future. And I think because the the organization, the Lakers right now, the team right now is showing that they can do that. Braun, and he sees that he's not really much in the picture as much. I think it's just a little bit, a little bit bothersome for him. And I could understand why, 41 years old, just about, 2 decades in the NBA. And I feel like what a time to basically have spent to gain so many accolades, to have fans see you play, to have, see, important moments in your life. It's a lot to kinda just, like, walk away from that, but I feel like, in my opinion, I really hope that he's not holding on, 1, because his son is on the team, okay? 2, and I hope he's not holding on because he just wants to stay relevant in the sport, and I feel like you have to know when it's time to, hand off. Know when to separate. I don't know if he's doing it for whatever reason, because their last game, the post game, LeBron basically has said that Luca he said Luca, he said Luca's our franchise. It's up to us to bend our game around him. That was according to Clutch Points, by the way. To be honest, I feel like I just have to ask, was that a comment of acceptance or was that a comment of shadiness? Because at the end of the day going in. Because what's up, bro? Like, what's up? I feel like LeBron, you have to understand there will never be another you. There will never be another Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain. There will never be like Kobe. There will never be another you. And I think that, we could continue to see you, but just, in a different light, but just maybe not as much because the Lakers are proving that they can thrive and win and execute without LeBron James. I've seen it. I know the fans are seeing it too as well. I just think at this point in time, it would make me so happy if LeBron will just retire. And I think, it's coming soon because I feel like LeBron has nothing else to prove. You have, unless if you're out here and really enjoying the sport, there's levels to enjoying a damn sport. Just because your body's in shape to sit there and do this doesn't mean you should always do this. Okay. You can literally go be an analyst, a sports analyst. You can literally go be a basketball coach. Do you know how many fucking kids want to probably shoot? LeBron James is my coach. Like, come on now. Like, it's time for you to use your sport in other ways to educate, basically encourage the upcoming, future, little LeBrons and, that want to, grow up to be like you. They looking for that mentor. So I'm just speaking from just a place of, just sentiment. Like I just feel like that would be a good idea. But hey, it is his choice. It is his life. But yeah, so I definitely do see the Lakers with Luca, Austin Reeves, they really killing it right now. I really do wish they would trade trade Vanderbilt because he doesn't do anything. Make he doesn't shake no stadium, no basketball court. He doesn't do none of that. He's not it. He was not it when they signed him, and he's not it now. And also alongside, excuse me if I don't pronounce his name wrong, but Hachimaru Mara, it's about time that, he needs to be shipped out from the Lakers at this point in time. It's very much needed. Instead of just picking up, Keon Ellis, we need to also be sending a couple of the people outside of the Laker house. So yeah, that is that. Real quick, I do want to touch on this particular young man. And right now, it's sad to see this come to, to where it is right now with him. And what I would say, this particular young man is, Ja Morant. And I've had the pleasure seeing Ja Morant being drafted into the NBA as a young kid, Dredge not even touching his neck. And I remember first seeing Ja Morant play, and I was like, he really got like a lot of attitude and spunk like LeBron. That was the first thing that came to my mind. But when I had seen John Morant, I was just like, "Oh my goodness, like, this brother right here can ball." Like, what? Memphis got like, somebody good on their team. So I just felt like, wow. And then we ended up getting into the situation um with the gun situation with John Morant, which was actually, I'm not going to say not shocking, but how everything played, I think it was needed for the league to do what they did and for the team to do what they did. I thought that was needed, but clearly it didn't show much, significant change within, at some point in time when this was going on with John Morant, he was just in the media for all the wrong reasons. I felt like then that was a time that I was speculating in my mind that it was time for John Morant to either get his shit together or he was going to be on the chopping block. And this is where we are at right now. John Morant on the chopping block. And if you ask me, listen, let that motherfucker go, because the Memphis Grizzlies is another team that is doing good without Ja Morant. Whether if they are a, number one seed right now or not, if the team is doing good without you, then so fucking be it. I don't really see Ja Morant adding any great value right now to the Memphis Grizzlies. I honestly think that Ja Morant doesn't even want to be there anymore. But the real question is, where the hell are you going to go? That's the real question. Where the hell are you going to go? What team really, I just feel like as an organization, what team wants to sign John Morant? And this is my take on it. Yes, he is a talented player. Yes, he is a two-time NBA All-Star. He has his accolades, he has on his belt. But if I was an organization, I get that, championships are won, by players who can score and who have the talent and so forth and so on. But I would not sign a player if the players that I have on my team are always in the media for the wrong reasons. It's always something going on. No, we don't need too many of that going around in the league. So if you can't get your shit together, why would I want to sign you? You get what I'm saying? Because at some point in time, that battery is going to run out where you can't use it no more on no teams. And I think because the decisions he's made outside of basketball has been put up so much out there, people can judge, like, well, is this going to be a distraction? People, when these teams sign these players, they don't know what these kids' distractions are. They don't know what these players' distractions are. You just out there showing the world what your distractions are, and it makes it harder for a team to want to sign you. So now the real question is, what team is willing to trade for Ja Morant? Put all the basketball shit aside. Let's forget how good of a player he is. Because if that was the case, then he would have realized that himself and he would have been balling. Okay? So that's the question that has my mind really on edge right now. Who the hell is going to sign Ja Morant? And if I could just think real quick, a team from the East, possible. Shit, send them to the Wizards. Send them to the fucking Wizards because I feel like, not for nothing, Ja Morant, you might be that dude, you might be that player, but you is not worth the money to put on the line right now for you. Sorry, this will not be another Bradley Bills type of situation where niggas is paying you and you ain't doing nothing because, for whatever reasons, hurt, not hurt, whatever. So a team from the West, I mean, he could go help out Zion, but we don't know how long Zion gonna be there neither because he's another one drafted into the NBA and you have been nothing but hurt and missing. Not a good look. So I can honestly say, right now, Zion Williamson is actually playing his best right now. I'm happy for him. He looks good. He looks healthy. But right now, his team ain't what it is right now. So, damn, like, kind of waited too late for that shit to happen. But yes. So, the best of luck to Ja Morant. I really hope, he really thinks about what his future is, will become if he really doesn't, straighten up his act on the court because nobody got time for attitude. And I feel like, it's a difference when you're passionate about it and then when you have attitude, you don't want to be told what to do. I just feel like that's where Ja is at right now. He don't want to be told what to do. He knows what he's doing and shit. Since he knows so much, put him in a team where he knows so much. We don't have time for these games. We don't have time for these games. New year, Ja. New year. Get your shit together, brother man. All right? And I really, like, respectfully mean that with, like, from the bottom of my heart. No, like, disrespect, like, Ja, like, you gotta get it together. Because this is not the Ja Morant that I know. And if you have been watching Ja Morant since he'd been drafted in 2019, mind you, this kid, Ja Morant, 2019 first round, second overall pick. You supposed to be doing better, bro. Like, way, way, way better. So hopefully he get his shit together where he can, build his legacy, in better ways. Because if he don't, he won't be in the league much longer anyway. I'll put it to you like that, right? If John Moran doesn't, get it together, he won't be in the league much longer. And not to say like that, the league probably gonna make an example out of him because he ain't learning shit anyway. To each his own. But best of luck to you, Ja. Lastly, I saved this for particularly for last. Y'all know I'm a diehard Warriors fan. And the Warriors really got me in a little bit of humble right now. It's tricky because I really don't know how to feel, but I feel low key. It makes sense. So right now, if things were to go like things were to happen right now, the Warriors, the Pelicans, and the Utah Jazz are in cahoots with one another. Basically, the Warriors are willing to give up Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, along with a 2026, 28, 30, and first round pick. And the Utah Jazz will end up getting Kevon Looney, former Warrior, and a 2032 second pick along with cash considerations. Let me break this down. Okay, Trey Murphy is currently right now, Trey Murphy the third, sorry, is currently on the New Orleans Pelicans, playing alongside with Zion Williamson and Kevon Looney. Homie just entered his first year in his 4-year, 100, I believe it was 112 million contract with the Pelicans. And homie can ball. Let me give it to you. Homie can ball. Homie is a good shot for a three, for a corner three, in my opinion. And right now, he is averaging about 22 points per game. Okay. And if he is traded to the Golden State Warriors, he will basically kind of fill the spot of, Moses Moody. And I feel like with Moses Moody, he is averaging less than one Trey Murphy the third. Two, he is, Moses Moody is a good shot, but I think Golden State is starting to get kind of tired of trying to build on, like, him being that person that they really can connect with on the court. His synchronization with how they move collectively as a team, it's up there, but it could be better because of the time he has spent there. Also, along with Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, seen this boy come in, baller, ready to play, confidence on 100. You get what I'm saying? If you could kind of mesh Kuminga and Moses Moody together, you'll probably have the person that you need right now for the Golden State Warriors. But you cannot, okay? Kuminga is the type of person, he is, he will go for it. But then at the same time, Moses Moody also somebody, who knows how to go for it, but second guesses, okay? Who needs the help on, in the corner for the corner three, who is looking, who does not want to take the chance. And when you see a player like Trey Murphy III, he shows up to be that dude. He's not scared. He's confident. He's making his shots. He's pulling in the sense. He's pulling in, the rebounds as well. And we need somebody that's also going to collectively do that as well. And me being a fan of the Golden State Warriors, in addition to why this makes sense, because if this goes this way, Golden State will actually be saving money, on luxury tax, 25 million to be exact. And who don't want to save, especially with what's going on right now? Things will always fluctuate in the league. Having, uh money in the background just in case something, just a little spell happens. You have a little razzle dazzle. I do believe that was a smart decision to do it this way. Utah comes in my opinion, because they will get Looney. I feel like there's a lot of bouncing around for Looney, for all that Looney. Like, just pick it up and go. Much respect to Looney. I love Kevon Looney. I wish they would have never traded, Kevon Looney to the Pelicans. Sometimes mistakes happen, and this is where we at right now because we need somebody. We need Kevon Looney back. We need him back. I understand Golden State wants to build for the future and whatnot, and I see players like Quentin Post. He's really good too. Really, really good. Like that confidence he grew in Golden State. Offensively, defensively, my son Looney was killing it. Do you hear me? He really showed up when he was supposed to show up, and I felt like that was a part of State's heart of trading him to the New Orleans Pelicans. And if it was up to me, I would get him back and trade, because sometimes you gotta, if it's nothing wrong, then don't fix it, boo boo. I feel like Golden State, kind of fucked up with that one, but we did get Al Horford. I know we had Jimmy Butler for some time, but we have to, Golden State has to figure out the algorithm to winning the chip. I'm going to always back Golden State because that's my team at the end of the day. I really want Golden State to win the chip this year. It's been long overdue. I think that, they are letting these young players like outsmart them when it comes to playing games. When I'm knowing my team, like, first of all, we believe, one. Two, y'all act like y'all have no type of basketball IQ playing this game right now. It's like two of y'all that's in the game. And three, like, hello, can we cut the light on in our brain? Like, can we really do that? Because that's the only way we're gonna start to, like, to execute to win in the game. Okay? Minga and Moody, I do think it's time for you guys to go. Enough time has been spent, and I think Golden State, is learning slowly that they can't spend so much time on players that, if we want you to go at 10 and you continuing to go at 5, then listen, it is what it is. Because we have a couple players that's willing to go for 10. And that's just how it is. But all of that, I really do wish, each and every one, every one of them, the best of luck. That, whew, I really don't want to see Golden State like not in the playoffs this year. Like, I cannot take it. I cannot take it. I've had enough hurt already with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't do Golden State. I can't do, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. I cannot do that for real, for real. But hey, it is what it is. So real quick, I wanted to touch on the NFL. So this past weekend was wild card weekend, and it was definitely a wild card because I was surprised to see some teams do what they did versus them during the regular season. And I actually was, how can I sit there and say the teams that I picked to win actually won. So I'm very hyped about that. So let's get right into it. We had the LA Rams versus the Carolina Panthers. LA Rams defeated the Carolina Panthers 34-31. It was a close win, but a tough loss. I actually did want Carolina to win that game, so sorry. Not every team that I wanted to win won, but this one, yes, I forgot about Carolina. Carolina did lose by 3. It was such an amazing game. Bryce Young, quarterback, 24 years old. He did his thing. To see him where he was at was beautiful. 21 for 40, 264 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Not bad against Matthew Stafford, going 24 for 32, which is beautiful. 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, and one interception. That was beautiful in itself to watch. But, congratulations to Bryce Young because he did a great job. His team, the Carolina Panthers, they defense, amazing. I was watching them throughout the season. I really thought they did an amazing job in that game. They could have won that game, but it's okay. The Rams, they got that one. So now we have the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. And let me tell you, Chicago defeating the Green Bay Packers 31-27 was a major and epic comeback. I was actually going for the Chicago Bears to win this game, and they did. Caleb Williams has been doing his thing throughout the season. I was getting a little shaky at first when I was seeing them down because first quarter, I believe they scored 3. Green Bay had scored 7. Second quarter, they didn't score nothing. Green Bay ended up scoring two touchdowns. So now they up 21-3. And I'm like, nah, this is not the Chicago Bears that I have been seeing now. Like, what the hell is going on? And then here come at the halftime, something must have been in the juice or the Gatorade. I don't know what. But they came back and they smoked them. But that, I was expecting the Bears to win because not for nothing. Jordan Love, 24 for 46, 323 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's, the touchdowns is beautiful and whatnot. But throughout the season, Jordan Love he gives me much pause. He makes me feel shaky. He makes me feel nervous. He makes me feel like he's not confident in himself all the way. So, to be honest, I thought this was actually the best I've ever seen him play. Because to me, it's like he's always searching to see who's there. He's questioning, should he do it or should he not do it? And that's my biggest thing with him. And I think because of those mental decisions he's made, that was part of the reason what allowed the Chicago Bears to come back and win this game. Mind you, their defense was really great too, by the way. So let's not forget about that. But Caleb Williams, 24 for 48, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not bad, minus the interceptions, okay? But yeah, the Bears did that. I mean, a slow start, but it was a great end. And what makes it even worse on Jordan Love is how could you have been up so much on Jordan Love and the Packers? How could you have been up so much on the Bears and you let them come back and smoke y'all ass and scoring 25 points in a quarter? 25 points in a quarter. And if you guys are listening, a touchdown is 6 points, with the kick makes it 7. Okay? You're trying to tell me that the Chicago Bears scored 25 points in a quarter to come back and beat y'all ass? Like, nah, like that's really wild. That's bonkers. So if not for nothing, I feel like personally, Jordan Love, it's nice seeing you there, but I think Green Bay needs a new quarterback, if you ask me. Enough. It's enough. It's enough. So, but like I said, congratulations to the Bears on that. Really happy that you guys pulled that off. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And my thing is, I was going for the Buffalo Bills to win this. Josh Allen, my boy, my boy, my boy. He had me shaky. He had me shaky because he was getting banged the fuck up. Hurt up. Hurt when I say Josh Allen, he done got his helmet kind of come off his head. He done hit his finger on the helmet. Then he done had his knee banged up first quarter. It was Josh Allen experienced a lot in the wild card round. And hopefully maybe this will probably be his last time battling in the wild card round. Who knows? Because next season Mahomes is coming back. But anyways, back on topic. Josh Allen, my boy, 28 for 35, 273 yards, one touchdown. I This was a close game, to watch because I was actually so excited to see Trevor Lawrence play, and he didn't do a bad job. He did not do a bad job. I felt like Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars came to play against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. I think that they was moving in sync with each other better than the Buffalo Bills, if you ask me, in my opinion. They was ready to risk it. It seemed like the coach trusted the team throughout the entire game and a lot of plays that they made. This was an interesting game for me because Trevor Lawrence was 18 for 30, 207 yards, three touchdowns, two interceptions. And the crazy thing is, you know, the Buffalo Bills won by 3 points, 27-24. It was crazy because I when teams lose by a kick, like 3 points, when they don't get the touchdown, they have a kick for 3 points, or they lose by 1 point because the kicker missed the kick after they got the touchdown. That's a tough loss. That's a tough loss, especially after watching the players put a lot of might on the field. I think Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars basically left a little dent in the Buffalo Bills, and I think they had a possibility of winning that game if I feel certain calls were reversed, in my opinion. But I think the Buffalo Bills, they did a great job too, as well. Josh Allen, I'm really proud of him all season. He's, really put, his best foot forward. And I think it should have really been a breeze for him since, the whole Mahomes issue being out. I feel like it was a, easy pathway for him to reach to, like, playoff mode. So I wish him the best. Okay, I really wish him and the Buffalo Bills the best. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. San Francisco defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 23-19, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. I just knew the San Francisco 49ers was just going to win. How did I know, Juju? Because for some reason, Juju's a West Coast girl at heart, and I just knew the West was just going to take it. Oh my goodness, Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy. And mind you, Brock Purdy has been out for some time now. And before this game, he came back, and I believe he lost a game when he came back. And it wasn't bad, but I told myself then, I said, well, I hope he's ready for what's about to come because Philadelphia is a great team. They play hard. Championship team, by the way. So it was an interesting game to see. Honestly, Brock Purdy, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Brock Purdy is what, 20, 24 years old? 24 years old. Brock Purdy, 24 years old. And he was 18 for 31, 262 yards, two touchdowns, and two interceptions. Okay. With the help of Christian McCarthy, and Demarcus Robinson. And let me tell you, Demarcus Robinson was putting in pain yesterday, giving in 111 yards and one touchdown as well. Versus the Philadelphia Eagles, where we had Jalen Hurts, 20 for 35, 168 yards and one touchdown. With the help of Saquon Barkley, 106 yards, and Devonta Smith for 70 yards. Let me tell you something. Okay, Jalen Hurts, how you gonna let Brock Purdy throw like that? You hear me? How you gonna let Brock do you like that, Jalen? Just in the air like that. You can't tell me your yards are supposed to be matching his or even more. You trying to tell me it was nobody there that you could throw the ball to that was going to run the ball to the touchdown? That was this basically, let me sum it up. The 49ers exposed the Philadelphia Eagles for what happens when you get caught in a jam. That's what that was. That's how the 49ers won. They won with their grit, they won with their defense, okay? Let's let's be real. They caught Philadelphia off guard. And Philadelphia was off guard because of the players. Everybody was not in sync with one another. I watched it myself. The 49ers had, the Philadelphia Eagles scrambled, okay? And don't get me wrong, like I said, 49ers came to play because they came to score the touchdown. Philadelphia, they did hit the touchdown, but they missed the kick. So, second quarter, Philadelphia scored their touchdown. San Fran, they sat there and got their kick. Here come third quarter, Philadelphia with a kick again. So my thing is just like, okay, you up, you up by three. Here come fourth. All of third quarter, San Fran didn't score. So you scored 3 points. That's all you got out of third quarter. And this is my problem with a lot of teams. Y'all not getting enough. You're not taking advantage of what is going on. Yes, defense can be good, but to get 3 points out of a quarter is ridiculous, okay? A quarter is what? 15 minutes? So out of 15 minutes, you got 3 points. The Philadelphia Eagles. Ridiculous, okay? Just the fourth quarter to roll around for y'all to score another 3 points and they score two touchdowns and a kick. Please, at the end of the day, they was exposed, so they need to revamp because you can't just basically focus your players just on Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith. You have to utilize the team. Somebody has to step up. And when you get caught up in a jam where, okay, maybe a player is not being, playing to the best of their ability, or a situation happens where a player gets injured, what do you expect? Like, what's next in the playbook? Do what we do what you do to win. Okay? And if that calls out bringing out secret weapons and trying new things, then so fucking be it. But this right here, ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I just want to point out one more game, which is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the New England Patriots. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And let me tell you, it's like the New England Patriots knew they was going to beat them. They must have told themselves they was going to beat the Chargers, because Chargers been doing good all season, okay? And this was a game to Chargers been doing good all season. So have the New England Patriots. So I was like, okay, this is going to be definitely a game to watch. And I'm watching New England give the Chargers they ass right now. I'm like, nah, like this is really wow. Really, really wow. Nobody scored in the first quarter, okay? But here you come into the second quarter and New England score 6 points, Chargers score three, right? Then we get into the third quarter. Patriots score three, Chargers score nothing. Here we come into the fourth quarter. Here come England with another touchdown. And the Chargers, goose egg. A damn goose egg. When I tell you the Patriots was not playing with the Chargers, they said, listen, they gave them ass. They said, you want defense? I give it to you. And they gave them every piece of it in that game. And I give it to them. Shout out to Drake May, 17 for 29, 268 yards, one touchdown, interception. And shout out to Justin Herbert, 19 for 31, 159 yards. Okay. Drake May and the New England Patriots definitely played like they wanted to win that game. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. It's time for the score segment. So, real quick, the score segment is going to be very quick before I let you guys go. This round card round was given pure grit versus giftedness. And let me tell you, honestly, the math was mathing. Josh Allen was the definition of stand on business. Even when me personally, when he kept getting sent to the fucking tent for like 3, 4 times, he basically put up a 10 out of 10 soul score for me, dragging the Jaguars through the mud. And honestly, with that game winning tush push, he was hurt, but he wasn't broken. And that right there, I call grown man football, okay? So, yes, my boy, Josh Allen. Great job, great job, great job. The rookie of them all, Caleb Williams, had me stressed, had everybody else, the whole Chicago stressed the fuck out. Started looking like a deer in headlights, I tell you, with them two interceptions, okay? But like I said, something tapped into something to his mind, and he went in deep because he started throwing to snatch the Packers' soul to get that comeback win, and that right there, is amazing. He's young, he's spicy, and he's definitely showing Chicago that the era isn't shifting right now. So, congratulations once again, Caleb Williams. Matthew Stafford stayed grown and sexy throughout the whole game, surgically dissecting the Panthers. That's when you have a veteran who knows what to do, okay? For 304 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like it's just another Tuesday for him, literally. But let's keep it 100. The biggest heartbreak, honestly, was Philly. And the Eagles got dethroned at home by Brock Purdy and a San Francisco trick play. Okay? That's why they went home. Jalen Hurts did what he could do now. He did what he could do. I said what I said. But when you're just tolerated by your coaching staff instead of being celebrated, the exit is always going to be soul crushing. So guess what? Philly, it's time for you to go on home. Yo, today's episode was a walk for real, y'all. Honestly, I loved it. 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 And I hope you guys loved it too, honestly. Whether we're talking about Josh Allen playing through the pain or Caleb Williams finally growing up in front of our eyes, we must always remember the scoreboard counts the points, but the soul counts the growth. And before I let you guys go, next week we're going to be getting into something we all struggle with, finding your rhythm in the unfamiliar. We're going to be talking about how to move from that shaky feeling to finding your steady, whether you're a player traded to a new city or just someone trying to find their footing in a new season of life. We're going from stiff to steady. And I promise you guys don't want to miss it. Just make sure you head over to Instagram and you go follow for all notifications and weigh in all the tea that's going to be happening. And I just want to give you another reminder. Just keep your soul in alignment, keep your head in the game, and your heart in the walk. I'm your host, JuJu, and this is Court Talk, So Walk.